My name is Sarah Humber, and when I was 7 years old, I slipped a note into the offering plate at church saying that I wanted to be baptized. I didn't tell my parents first, and I remember feeling both excited and afraid. Afraid that someone would tell me that I was too young to truly understand what it meant. But I knew enough to know that I wanted a life with Jesus. Turns out those fears were unfounded. I had a family and church that supported me and encouraged me in that decision. Looking back, I now can see that God's grace didn't end there. It continued to pursue me even when I wasn't pursuing Him. As I entered adulthood, my faith became less central in my life. Around that time, I got married and we began to raise a family. Our life held so much joy and love, but it also held deep struggle. My husband battled addiction, and our family faced many ups and downs throughout that journey. During that season, I tried to carry the weight of those struggles on my own. I felt like it was my responsibility to fix things and hold everything together. So instead of turning to God and community, I isolated myself. Even in that season, though, God's grace was quietly at work. With the help of a Christian counselor and friends in my faith community, I started to see that I was not in control and I could not face this battle alone. God's grace was inviting me to surrender to Him and to trust Him to fight it. And in the middle of that storm, I began to feel a peace that could only come from relying on His grace. 2 years ago, my husband lost his battle with addiction and passed away. Suddenly, my life looked very different from how I thought it would, and I was faced with raising our children on my own. There are still moments when that loss overwhelms me, but God's grace meets me in those moments. His grace reminds me that I am not alone. It invites me to accept the help and support that He provides through others. His grace allows me to experience joy alongside grief, and it reminds me that God is able to bring light and purpose even out of the darkest of circumstances. What I continue to learn is that God's grace is never finished and never limited. He meets me every day where I am and reminds me of His constant presence. Because of God's grace in my life, I know that no circumstance defines my story. Jesus does.